Hey, 7 days ago it was Friday. 7 days from now it's going to be Friday again, which means it's Friday. Welcome to Planet Earth. Mr. H here with you, man. Got some history, got some dinosaurs, got some football for you. And man, was this not a crazy week, huh? I mean, election seasons are always nuts, and I want to know who put election day so close to Halloween. Right? I've yet to get an answer. Nobody seems to know. Just seems awful strange to me, man. Just wondering. So, watching the election, not taking any sides, but Trump did win. And I've noticed something about elections in the 21st century, right? Let's see if I got a little theory. Let's see if it holds up. Alrighty. Now, back in 2000, we had Gore versus Bush. All right, we know how that one went, right? There was a long court case over Florida and all kinds of, irregular stuff going on there. Seemed to have fixed it since. But I noticed something. Everybody always talks about the four big ones. They talk about New York, which always goes Democrat. Florida leans, Republican, but you got to work for it. Texas always goes Republican, and Florida goes to the Democrats. It wasn't always that way. This whole matrix shifts every 50 years or so. People move, different issues show up. There was a time California was a Republican stronghold and Texas was a Democratic one. Yeah, hard to believe, but who knows? 50 years from now, who knows, right? But right now, that's what it looks like. So everybody talks about those four big states. That's 25% of the electoral vote right there. Now, here's three they don't talk about. They don't talk about Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida. All right, I know some overlap there with Florida. But did you notice, and I will show to you, that whoever wins 2 out of 3 of Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida ends up winning the election? All right, here we go. In 2000, we had Bush take Ohio. With a long court case, Florida ended up going to Bush. And of course, Gore took PA. So 2 out of 3 for Bush. He wins the election. What happens 4 years later? 4 years later, we got John Kerry going up against George Bush. Bush gets Ohio. They had to think about it because they didn't want to rerun of Florida, but they got it, right? So Ohio went for Bush. Florida went for Bush. No hiccups this time. And Pennsylvania ended up going for Kerry. 2 out of 3 for Bush. Bush gets the win. 2008, Barack Obama going up against McCain. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida all go for Obama. Obama wins big, 365 right there. All right, theory's holding up so far. 2012, Obama running for re-election against Mitt Romney. Look at this again. Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida all go for Obama. Big win for Obama again. 2016, we've got Donald Trump first time around against Hillary Clinton. How's this turn out? Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida all go for Trump, and he wins it big in 2016. Now 2020 rolls around, and that was just a weird year all around with COVID and mail-in ballots and some other weird stuff going on at 3 o'clock in the morning. So some people use this as evidence for various conspiracy theories. I'm just pointing out something that happened. Here it is. Trump got Ohio, and he got Florida, and Biden got Pennsylvania. All right, so 2 out of 3 for Trump. He should actually win this thing. But, it turns out he didn't. So Biden gets Pennsylvania and goes all the way. So this might be a hole here in my theory. Some people are screaming all kinds of weird things are going on. It's true. It's just a strange year. But there it is. 2 out of 3 for Trump, but Biden ends up getting the win back in 2020. So that's one hole in the theory. But it's still holding water, right? We can patch up the hole and somebody get a bucket and throw some water out while I'm patching the hole. So far, so good. What happens in 2024, i.e., a few days back? Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida all go for Trump. Did you notice that? So it looks like my theory actually holds together, except for 2020, which it was weird in so many ways, COVID and all that. So, I think I've got something here. Now, how long is this going to last? I don't know. Like I said, probably to about 2050 or so, and then everybody will start moving around again. But looks like I got some kind of theory. Perhaps I've uncovered some key to the universe. Let me know in the comments if you think I've uncovered a key or if I just lost my mind. Wouldn't be the first time. Definitely not going to be the last. So, Mrs. H and I are wandering around downtown, and I saw this bird. I don't know what kind it was, but it just came out of the sky and it plunged right into the river. I don't know what was going on here. We don't have birds like that here. So, either a kamikaze mission or I don't know, somebody committing suicide. I don't know what's going on. But it reminded me of Hesperoris, yet the western bird. Now, this guy, Hesperonius here, he lived at the western interior seaway about, I think, 85 million years ago, up or down a little bit, not sure. And they don't find any fossils beyond 72 million years ago. So it missed out on the big asteroid impact. All right, well, guess you didn't miss out on too much, right? But you look at this skeleton, it is clearly a bird. That is confirmed. What do you notice here? Yeah, you got teeth. A bird with teeth. Now it's the Cretaceous period, so that's not a big surprise. We know it lives on the seashore, right? So obviously it's going after fish, and those teeth are to grab onto the fish. It dives in, got the feet behind it. That's something else I get into a second, a little bit later. But yeah, that's how I think it would dive in, have the feet behind it. Seems to make a lot more sense, right? So here we are with the western bird living in the western interior seaway of North America. They found some fossils in northern Russia. So not only is it a warm weather animal, it could probably be a cold weather animal too. That's a whole different debate. We'll talk about that some other time. That's what we think it looks like there with the feathers and everything. See the teeth over here? Clearly a flightless bird. Thing here about the feet. Some people maintain it had webbed toes, which would make sense. Swim very faster. On the other hand, we didn't see we don't see any evidence or fossil impressions of webbed toes or anything. This might actually help more with climbing over rocks and stuff. And I don't know, maybe it grabs fish with the feet too. We're not really sure, but don't see any evidence of webbed feet. How big is this thing? It's disconcerting, you know. I mean, it looks like it can reach up to your chest over here. It's I don't think it's going to be a mortal threat to any Homo sapiens doing any temporal, sightseeing tours in the late Cretaceous. But yeah, this thing could probably hurt you, and let's not get pecked in the eye. That could really do something. But if it comes up hissing to you when you're on some, time safari in the Cretaceous, just whack it in the side of the head. Hopefully it runs away. Go for the neck if you have to. There's some debate over the bill. This came out, I don't know what, there it was 2011. And this guy named Wittmer over here says that the lower jaw had a dip at the end, saying it would help in like scooping up fish. Now, if this was an animal that flew, you might have a point, but we do know this is a flightless bird, so I'm not sure that would really help out a lot. There it is diving into the water. There's another bit of, I'm not going to say controversy, but a bone of contention. See how these feet are out, the way it's displayed? All right, I don't know. If you dive, you'd have the feet behind it, right? I mean, so you can dive in. Maybe they bring the feet out as a break because you know how shallow the western interior seaway is. Maybe that's something that would happen. Other people say birds do dive like this, and I've seen it, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know enough about birds to say that, but it does look kind of strange to me anyway. So maybe it's true. I don't know. It was 72 million years ago. We do know that like most fish, like most birds, it would, scoop up fish above and below the water. So here we are above the water, kind of like a duck. Look out for what's above up here, right? Pteranodon might swoop down and get you. See his beak? See how's the curve on the front? But it's from the upper jaw, not the bottom jaw. So I still don't see, the validity of Whitmer's contention. We also know it could dive underwater, swim around underwater, and grab fish that way. Got the teeth to do so. So this could be above the water. It could be under the water. But there's a little bit of a problem because you're living in the western interior seaway. If you're above the water, something come up at you from below. If you're underneath the water, and come at you from any direction. Yep, mosasaur. That's the apex predator here. Yep, like we said, it's not that big of a bird, but it's a nice little snack for something like a mosasaur. See these guys? Oh, there goes Stan. He's gone. Right, you gotta watch out what's below you, and of course, if you're swimming underneath the water, it might even be any worse. This thing come at you from any direction. So, yeah, as many fish as our friend ate, I'm sure he got eaten a few times too. It's the western interior seaway. You know how it goes. Everybody's a predator. Everybody's prey. I'm betting this is somewhere near the Fargo Dome. And there's Xanthophynctus there again, our friend Hesperonius, and of course mosasaur. And what's going to eat a mosasaur? Probably a bigger mosasaur. Maybe a Texarina decides to come after it. Certainly big enough, right? All righty, so everybody's happy about the Steelers. Maybe a little bit too happy. I've seen worse. Yeah, I've actually seen people with less clothes on. This dates back, I think, to 2008. This was in the Pittsburgh Post Gazette back then. They were really happy about beating up on Baltimore. Yeah, this guy might be a little bit too happy. Somebody, make sure he doesn't get behind the wheel, operate any heavy machinery or anything, huh? So the big news is Steelers unusually active this year in trading. They picked up a new receiver, Mike Williams, big dude. The fantastic new guy. Yeah, F doesn't mean fantastic. Um, I got mixed feelings about this guy. He's first of all he's 30, which is kind of old for an NFL player. Secondly, this is going to be his third team now. Yeah, he's from Clemson, was drafted by the Chargers. Yeah, played some games, but he was kind of injury prone, quite a few injuries. Then he was playing for the Jets and got an ACL injury. Hasn't played very much. A big guy, probably a good big target maybe for whoever our starting quarterback is. Apparently, Russell Wilson at the moment. So people seem happy about it. I guess I have to defer to their judgment. So you know what you got. You know how you find out, right? Throw the ball, see if he scores. Steelers are playing against the Washington Commanders. It's the first time I've ever played them against us, the Commanders. If you remember that year back there in 2020, they changed the name to they got away from the Redskins moniker and decided they're going to use another name. Didn't have one immediately, so it was the Washington Football Team. Yes, we actually lost to them in 2020. So this is the very first time we play against the Commanders. They're playing in well, it's not really D.C. It's actually Southern Maryland. What a crazy looking uniform. They wear this all red stuff over here. They look too much like the Arizona Cardinals or Valdosta State. I don't like them very much. Steelers, of course, wearing white. Why doesn't the Commanders wear this instead? That way you don't like Valdosta State, and it has sort of a Washington look, something you're used to, kind of a throwback to the quote unquote Redskin days. So I don't know. I like this uniform a lot better. If we beat them, I'll really like it. So again, we'll play and we'll see how it goes. The Commanders are 7-2. Steelers 6-2, coming off the bye week. This will be a pretty good one. Washington is favored by 3. That means no one's really sure what's happening. These teams are polar opposites. Washington has a bad defense but a good offense. Pittsburgh has a really good defense, but the offense is coming along. So I know I can see the Steelers pulling this one out. It's going to be pretty close. So instead of instead of Commanders by 3, I'm going to go with Steelers by 3. Of course, you saw that coming, didn't you? Up there in the Great White North, we got the Canadian Football League. Right? My cousin Saskatchewan Roughriders knocked off BC, so now Roughriders go to play their hated rival, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, right there in Winnipeg. Winner goes off to the Grey Cup over in the East. Toronto knocked off Ottawa over here. Now Toronto goes to do battle against Montreal. That's for the East. And then a week from now, the Grey Cup. Canada Super Bowl. The Grey Cup, eh? So reach down there in the comments. Let me know how many horrifying mistakes I have made. Just say hi. Tell me who you think is going to win the Grey Cup. If you think Washington's going to win that game against the Steelers, don't bother me. But it's okay. It's all good, man. All right. You guys have yourself a fantastic day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Das vidanya.